Howdy, how's it going? Back with another guitar practice vlog, riffing with Jimmy. Not literally riffing. Today we're going to talk a little bit about technique drills, warming up, um, aimed more at older players, more mature players, let's say. Not just because we're getting older and arthritic or anything like that, um, or our dexterity is fading. It's more about technique drills that are going to help you uh, become a bulletproof player all around. So a technique that I still work on now, just while my phone died there. So a technique that I still work on to this day is alternate picking and making sure that it is solid. I like my upstrokes to sound and feel as good as my down picking. Being predominantly a metal player, especially back in the day. That's all I used to practice. Pretty much was just like down picking and galloping and all this kind of stuff. So these days I work more on alternate picking than anything else. I would say, certainly picking technique wise. Um, so it's something, in my opinion, you can never be too good at because it helps with timing, it helps with accuracy. It's just like the best technique, in my opinion. Alternate picking, practicing on one string, multiple strings, cross picking. Playing one note per string of alternate picking. Um, Such a good technique to work on. So I am sure, oh, well, I'm not sure, I'm positive that there will be guys that will check out this video and have this kind of look on their face, and they're going to go, this is beginner stuff. I've been playing for a long time, doesn't really apply to me. Well, yeah, it does. I've been playing for a really long time as well. I've been playing for uh, at least 30 years, 32 years, I don't know, a long time. Been playing since like the mid 90s. um, and this applies to me. Working on alternate picking and being really consistent with my picking still applies to me. So I still do these kind of alternate picking warm up drills or technique drills all the time. And there might be other people that go, well, yeah, but working on this technique stuff is boring, or working on alternate picking is boring. Well, is it? Is becoming a better guitar player boring? Like, if you, I don't like that term. I don't think there is any boring exercise. There's only bored guitar players, as I say. Um, and also, it's not a alternate picking is certainly not a um, beginner exercise. It's a fundamental exercise. So, regardless of the type of player you are, the type of the genre, the style of music that you play, you have to work on fundamentals. That there's a huge mistake. There's a fucking huge mistake, excuse my French, that guys make where they think like, I don't have to practice that anymore, or like, I don't have to work on these things. You absolutely do. That's going to be what counts, especially as you get older. Um, you want to make sure that these fundamentals are maintained, and it's working towards making you a bulletproof musician as well. Anyway, so we shouldn't be bored practicing this kind of thing. But yeah, guys make this mistake of thinking that certain technique drills or routines are too basic. They're not. They're really not. Like you can never be too good at alternate picking or pentatonics or cross picking or bending or anything like that. You can always improve it, and it needs to be maintained at a certain level. And I always use this analogy of, like, when you watch like a soccer team, for you people that call it soccer, we call it football in Britain, the proper name. So yeah, when you watch a football team training, they are not doing like overhead kicks and like fancy stuff. They are practicing fundamentals. They're practicing set pieces. they're practicing throw-ins, they're practicing like free kicks, they're practicing like all this stuff that matters, passing, most basic kind of stuff, running with the ball, all this kind of stuff that they are practicing it over and over and over again. So it's a huge mistake to think that by practicing fundamentals that is somehow like a waste of time, or it's boring, or it doesn't apply to you, because I guarantee it absolutely does. And um, I'm a huge believer um, in growth from sticking with the fundamentals, following that kind of set routine every day. So yeah, for me personally, again, it's picking control, making sure that my upstrokes are just as good as down picking, um, and I would say that having those a few things to work on each week or each day, it has helped me more towards long term evolution as a musician, as a player, and being consistent and having that daily kind of structure and routine has helped way more than practicing anything else. It just does. It has these sort of techniques, especially alternate picking, have a high degree of transferability into all the other areas of your playing. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to link you to a 10-minute alternate picking fundamentals drill that you can do. Any questions, give me a shout. Again, this isn't fancy stuff. This isn't like sexy things to practice. This is just very basic but important stuff that you want to be working on for your picking hand anyway. No fancy licks or fretboard gymnastics today, I'm afraid. Okay, get to work, you human metronome, you, and I'll see you in the next video.